What's up, KFG gang? It's your boy, Big Boy John 25, and today I'm going to do my AEW Dynamite review and highlights. You guys to hit that like button and hit that red button, and let's get started with the show. AEW Dynamite was a good show because John Moxley cut a fantastic promo, along with Jake Roberts cut a fantastic promo as well. So that's all I gotta say. The show kicks off with the video package showing some of the top highlights from the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. From there, we shoot inside the First Bank Center in Bloomfield, Colorado for the post pay-per-view episode of the weekly AEW on TNT broadcast. AEW World Champion John Moxley kicks off this week's show. We are welcome to the show by the announcers, who talked about John Moxley winning the World Championship from Chris Jericho over the weekend. Justin Roberts then introduced the new title holder for All Elite Wrestling, who makes his trademark entrance through the crowd as he heads to the ring to kick off this week's show. As Moxley enters the ring, his music fades and the fans' chants of his name pick up and spreads through the First Bank Center. As Moxley energized from the noise and love from the fans, they switch to a "You Deserve It" chant. We see a close-up of the big gash on Moxley's head, which the announcers talked about getting stitches such after his battle with Jericho at AEW Revolution. Moxley begins his promo saying the three letters AEW represents the best in the pro wrestling, which he has the in praise. He talks about how the title has never Jericho goes on to talk about how he want pro wrestling back. He says with that in mind, he will defend the belt with his life, crawl through any hell and climbing any mountain to keep it. He says he's not going to hide. He welcomes challengers. He also says he's no dummy, and that's he aware that things between he and the inner circle are not over yet. Chris Jericho and the inner circle makes their way out. As soon as Moxley says that, the music of the former lead champion of AEW Chris Jericho, along with the rest of his inner circle crew, makes their way out to the top of the entrance stage. The inner circle hangs back while Jericho holding a mic, take a couple steps forward and waits for the fans to finish singing the lyrics to his song. Jericho goes on to say he doesn't and never needed the title to be league champion. The fans start chanting, "Yes, you do." He mocks them for not being able to organize and chant the same thing at once. As Jericho goes on to insult Moxley some more, he is interrupted by a chant of "You suck, you know what," which they said honest, mostly without issue this time around. From there, Chris Jericho into Specfix from their battle at AEW Revolution. He brings up the spot at the end of the match where Moxley took his eye patch off and revealed he could see out of both eyes. Jericho said he didn't prepare for a fight against a man who had vision and two eyes. He called Moxley and all of the AEW fans liars. After a "you know what" chant from the Denver crowd wrap up, Jericho puts the AEW roster on notice that the inner circle is out for blood. He mentions that things begin tonight with Moxley himself as he begins up the advertising tag team main event match, putting Jericho as Sammy Guevara against John Moxley and Darby Allin. Jericho says he will take a leave of absence for 30 days or even 60 days. If Moxley walks out on his own later tonight, Jericho reminds everybody that he always got a fan and finish by telling Moxley he's not as smart as he thinks he is. Moxley says he's so sick of hearing Jericho talk. He says he never claimed to be that smart. He says tonight he's going to send Jericho walking for 60 days and make him look like a dumb son of a you know what. After the opening promo segment, the announcers run down a list of matches scheduled for tonight's show, concluding by setting up the first bout of the evening. The SCU and Colt Cabana versus the Dark Order. This match was decent, kicking kick, kicking off things inside the square circle. This week is an 8-man tag team bout with so-called censor Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky teaming up with Colt Cabana to take on the Dark Order. SCU comes out first in matching ring attire with jackets and Daniels holding a long old school microphone on a pole. Colt Cabana's music hits and out he comes looking like a Street Fighter character, complete with a GI with a custom paint job and a sweatband. As Colt Cabana finished up his entrance, Jim Ross takes us to commercial break. When we return, the Dark Order begin their walk to the ring. Out comes John Silver, Alex Reynolds, STU Grayson, and Evil Uno with a graphic information informing us that this is the first time they have teamed together on AEW Dynamite. Things settle and now the bell sounds to start the match. As the announcers wrap up some plugs for the AEW Unrestricted podcast and some upcoming live events and TV shouts. STU Grayson and Colt Cabana kick things off for their respective teams in the ring. As Colt Cabana established the early offense advantage over Grayson, the rest of the Dark Order swarms him like a group of hornets, and now the heels foursome are in the offense driver's seat. That lasts until Daniels hit a cheap shot from behind on the ring apron. This leads to 3 leapfrog leg drop from the ring apron into the ring. The babyface foursome settled into the lead now as the SCU utilize quick tactics fresh guys on the beating down Dark Order member. Finally, Silver gets some offense in the Dark Order with some triple team offense behind the referee's back, including Daniels being thrown onto the ring post. Turns the offense tied back in their favor. The announcers speculate a question whether or not the Dark really have an XL1, or if it is XL1 and who he, she, or not they might be. They take us to another commercial as the Dark continues to dominate the action with Daniels isolated in the ring. When we return from the commercial, we see Daniels is still stuck in the ring, unable to make it to his 20 and one of his 3 as the Dark Force continues to keep him along in the ring as they deliver more punishment. Finally, Daniels tag. Kazarian takes the hot tag and comes into the ring, hitting and taking out and every that moves as multiple Dark members try to slow down his momentum. Kazarian turns his back after a cool middle rope leg drop spot onto stacked Dark Order bodies, which leads to Dark Order teaming up and attacking him from behind. The other SCU members and Cabana hit the ring, teaming up the numbers game. The referee just stand back and watches as all 8 guys in different sections of the ring. The SCU hits a cool double team move on the last Dark Order member in the ring before diving out to the floor for some suicide splashes. Kazarian with a near fall, but moments later, the Dark Order start ganging up on him. He managed to tag in Colt Cabana, who starts taking things over until eventually the numbers game and sneaky tactics from the Dark Order slowly slows down his momentum. The SCU hits the ring for some cool dives to clear the ring. Colt Cabana hits his awesome Chicago skyline and follows up with his Superman finisher for the 1-2-3. The winner of the match, SCU and Colt Cabana, following loss to SCU and Colt Cabana, one of the members of the Dark Order jumps on the mic and says this is not how things were supposed to go. He says the XL1 is going to be upset when he finds out and that heads are gonna roll. Big Swole versus Levo. I wasn't to this match, but I didn't really care about this match. After a video package highlighting the AEW title match on AEW Revolution with it being over as one of the best matches in ages, we return to First Bank Center. Inside the arena, the announce team are shown on camera as they are joined by Dr. Baker, a guest commentator for our next match, which is in the women's battle. Out comes Big Swole to ring DYNAMITE is already standing. The bell sounds and here we go. Big Swole showcase about a minute or two of offense before hitting her finisher for the 1-2-3 in a squash match. The announcers thank Becky for joining them as Swole celebrates the winner of the Big Swole. Cody makes his way out to this promo of Jake Rhodes, and Cody was fantastic. I really enjoyed watching this promo. It was just a fantastic promo. From there, JR takes us to a video recap showing highlights of the Cody versus MJF match from this past Saturday night review. After the video, we return live and Cody as he continues in his way. The announcers kick into another commercial break. We return from the break to see Cody still getting a standing ovation from the fans, and at the Broomfield, he begins his promo talking about what it feels like to come up short against MJF at AEW Revolution. Cody then goes on to talk about what's like to go from wanting to be a pro wrestler his whole life. He continues talking about the journey of a wrestler and then what he went through to get the match with MJF, including getting whipped. He says he can only live with himself if one thing happens. MJF comes out right now and says to him face to face that he beat him fair and square at the Revolution. Jake the Snake Roberts his way to AEW. Some music immediately hits. It's AEW legend. AEW then has outwalked Jake the Snake Roberts. Roberts gets a legend reaction from the AEW at Broomfield audience, and then when his music fades, he talks about being sick of listening to Cody's you know what complaining. He says he's needed to accept that he simply got his you know what kick. Jake says he isn't here to praise Cody. He's here to slay him. He says the only reason he is here is because he is a client. He says the dark side is coming to you. He says it's been 20 years from him to get clean and get right, and by God he earned it. He says he isn't going to be he says isn't going to be a nice boy and play right. He goes on to talk about playing mind games over the years, explaining the physiology behind the reason he carried a snake in a sack to the ring with him. He gets back to Cody and tells him he can bring his one-trick pony Arn Anderson with him. So Jake the Snake Roberts brought up Arn Anderson. But anyway, Jake keeps bringing up old Caesars. He says he's not in AEW to take the whole pie, just co-chair. Jake says a wise man once told him to never turn his back on someone you respect or someone you are afraid of. He then turns around and throws the mic over his head, literally turning his back and walking away from Cody. This was an excellent promo between Cody Rhodes and Jake the Snake Roberts. I really enjoyed that promo. But let me move on. Chuck Taylor versus the Buster Pack. The Best Friends make their way out to the ring as they are up next, with the Best Friends taking on the Buster Pack in a one-on-one action. We head to commercial break. We're back from the break as JR informs us that Chuck Taylor will be representing the Best Friends against the Buster Pack, who just was introduced now as the announcers. Now informs us that the Young Bucks and Ken Omega are not here tonight at Broomfield. The bell sounds and here we go. Pac dominates much of the action until eventually picking up the victory when he locks Chuck in the brutalize after a slingshot cutter. The winner of the match, the Buster Pack. After the match, the Lucha Bros come out. Death Triangle is formed. So, once the match is over, Lucha Bros, Pentagon, Junior, Ray, Finch, they help Pac beat down Orange. Afterwards, Pac comes on and declares the duo is now known as the Death Triangle and says no one is safe from them. Totally Bleacher begins #search for Spears tag team partner. A backstage segment airs featuring WWE Hall of Famer Tool Blanchard inviting social media submissions for a tag team partner for the chairman of AEW, Shawn Spears. He tells anyone interested to use the #search for Spears hashtags to close out the promo. Jack Hager versus QT Marshall. Next up here on AEW Dynamite is another one-on-one bout with Jack Hager of the Inner Circle taking on QT Marshall. The bell sounds and here we go. It's all Hager from the bell to bell, with QT Marshall not getting in much of anything before ultimately sees Hager put QT Marshall to sleep with a standing arm triangle choke submission. The winner of the match, Jack Hager. After the match, Inner Circle beats down QT Marshall best friends Matt Jackson makes the save. After the match, Jack Hager keeps the hold quiet and refuses to let go of the unconsciousness QT Marshall. This leads to Dustin Rhodes hitting the ring and hitting the ring to make the save, but the other members of the Inner Circle join in, and the numbers game is too much for Dustin Rhodes. Now Cody sprints to the ring and is taking inside until eventually they swarm him. So Matt Jackson comes out by himself, as Nick Jackson and Kenny Omega are still not here according to the announcers. Matt Jackson hits a super kick on everyone that moves until finally it's Jack Hager remaining. Jack Hager takes him out, and then finally Heyman and Page comes out in a button-up shirt and jeans while drinking a beer. He slowly walks down and sets his beer down. He takes out everyone in the Inner Circle, then flips off Matt Jackson and exits the ring full of baby faces as we head to another commercial. The announcers run down the AEW Dynamite card for next week. The announcers talk to us on camera. Shoots informed us that Ortiz versus Cody is set for next week show in Salt Lake City, as well as the in-ring debut of Death Triangle, the new trio of the Bastard Pack with the Lucha Bros. They also promised to deliver the rules of the special Blood and Guts match. Finally, Tony Schiavone plus a 6-man tag with MJF and the Butcher and the Blade versus Jurassic Express. MJF gloats about Cody's win, vows to legacy of greatness. We shoot to a pre-tape backstage promo segment featuring MJF, the man who defeated Cody at AEW Revolution this past Sunday night, gloats about his victory. He claims Cody's legacy is over and he still got plenty of ink left for his own legacy. He claims his legacy to be the greatest champion in the history of professional wrestling. He tells Moxley he heard him right. He ends the segment by revealing an undershirt that reads, "I pinned Cody." He jokes about it being distracted, kind of like a neck tattoo, referencing Cody's new American Nightmare neck tattoo. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara versus Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. We return from the break. It's main event time. Chris Jericho music hits and out walks the leader of the Inner Circle with one of the members of the group, and his tag team partner for tonight is Spanish guy Sammy Guevara. After they wrap up the ring, the light goes out in the floor as Darby Allin's music in Neo plays as he makes his way out. He comes out with his skateboard and rolls his way down to the ring with a hoodie on as the announcers do some in-house plugging for those watching live on TNT tonight. Finally, Darby Allin's music fades and the music of the new World Champion of all wrestling hits and comes out once again, making his trademark walk through the fans and the crowd inside the First Bank Center of Broomfield, Colorado. As he continues his way to the ring, three masked fans attack him and drag him to the hallway in the arena. They take their masks off, revealing themselves to be Jack Hager, Santana, and Ortiz, the other three members of Jericho's Inner Circle faction. Jericho is shown with a big smile on his face as we join the fans. Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin in the ring. Watch the trio beat down Moxley as fans start to filter to that arena of the arena. Moxley fights back a bit, but the numbers came too much. They beat down again and can't kill him. The belt inside the ring, and it looks like it will instead be a 2-on-1 cap main event time. As the 10 the First Bank Center, while the Inner Circle thugs finally walk away and join Jericho and Sammy Guevara at ringside, where we see Jericho and Sammy Guevara clearly in control of Darby Allin. Jericho taunts and mocks Darby Allin. He is organically beat him up for some more. The fans try and chant and help bring life to Darby Allin. Hager sneaks in some cheap shots from the floor as Jericho distracts the ref. Jericho hangs Darby Allin upside down in the corner of the ring in the tree of wool. He charged from the opposite ends of the ring looking for a dropkick to Darby Allin's hanging down, but Darby Allin does a setup just in time. Darby Allin gets in the offense run as he knocks down the former AEW World Champion and gets in a few moves before Jericho gets run really short. And almost there, locks him in the Jericho finisher. Darby Allin makes it to force the hold to be broken. Jericho knocks Darby Allin out the floor where, like vultures, Hager and the team of Ortiz and Santana swarms ganging up on Darby Allin as we head to a heads to a mid-match commercial. We return from the break and we see Jericho still in control of the action. He beats up Darby Allin some more as he glows to the fans. All the while, Sammy Guevara now attacks and does much of the same. Now the fans are chanting something so bad that at almost 10 p.m. is being edited. While an hour earlier a prolonged chant made the cut just fine. Jericho tags back in and delivers some slaps to Darby Allin's face. This energized Darby Allin, who finally fires up and shows signs of life, close-lining Jericho over the top and diving into him on the floor. Before Darby Allin can get much more offense in, however, Jericho takes over once the action returns to the ring. He is being cocky, raking his boot and moving slowly as he approaches him. Visually his onslaught on the double knees of Darby Allin, who puts his legs up just in time. Out of nowhere, Darby Allin hits a wicked and destroys him. He hits his even which is obligatory holy you know what chant from any red blood wrestling fan who planet Earth. That's the win is back in the ring. He is in the end on guard for a close near ball that in the Boomfield audience counted along with hoping for the finish. Jericho hits the Judas effect on Darby Allin as he goes to dive onto him on the floor after flying the ropes. Replay showing Darby Allin getting blasted by Jericho as soon as he went through the ropes. Back in the ring, Sammy Guevara gets the pin and wins for his team. The winners of the match, Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. After the match, Jon Moxley breaks free from Doctor's Inner Circle swarms. Once the match is over, Sammy Guevara is hosted up on their shoulders like a hero as the and over celebrates the easy win in a handicap main event. Finally, Jon Moxley is shown coming through the entranceway for the backstage area as he breaks free from the AEW Dr. Sampson and charges to the ring. He hits a couple of pentagon shifts and then well, things shifted again. The Inner Circle utilized the advantages of the numbers game as Hager starts a prolonged beatdown of the new AEW champion, then ends at the top of the stage where Moxley is powerbombed 10 feet down through a table. The Inner Circle poses and celebrates as AEW Dynamite goes off the air. Now, AEW Dynamite was a fantastic show because of Jon Moxley cut an excellent promo, and then Jake the Snake Roberts and Cody Rhodes cut an excellent promo on AEW Dynamite. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my AEW Dynamite review highlights, drop a like this video, share the video. Share the video all over social media. My Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok will be down below in the description. And I will see you guys next time. So, Big Boy John 25, and I'm out of here.